What's going on, guys? I'm Andrew.
I'm Jason.
And this is Movie Source.
Today we're going to be talking about the teaser trailer for Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
So this movie is titled Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and that's the last time I'm actually going to call it that. I'm just going to stick with calling it Star Wars Rogue One. It's simpler. It's much more simple. It's more organic, so I'm just going to call it that. I know it's a little nitpick, but whatever. I like that title more. Just really quick from the opening shots of this trailer. It just felt like, I love the tone of it. It felt like a war film, just like the scenes of the AT-AT walkers shooting at the soldiers. It just really felt like the troopers in Saving Private Ryan when they were storming the beaches in Normandy. Like, it had that war kind of feel to it.
Definitely, man. It just feels like super big, too. It feels very wide open, and it looks like it's full sets again, like Star Wars Episode 7 was. None of this, like, green screen bullshit or anything. So
definitely. No, I love it when it feels more like, not blue screenish, more like the prequels. And speaking of prequels, this obviously is set in between episodes 3 and 4, so I'm going to take a big guess right now and say that this is going to be my favorite Star Wars prequel ever, even though I did like Revenge of the Sith, but I'm still going to say this will probably be my favorite one. So
definitely likely, and I hope it is too, because this story looks like something that's, because they kind of reference, them stealing the Death Star plans in episode 4. So yes. This is a cool story I think that we're going to get to see.
Yeah, as Jason just said, literally in the opening crawl of episode 4, A New Hope, which was released in 1977, you see right there, it says the rebels have stolen the Death Star plans. And I remember always reading that opening crawl, I'm like, I wonder what how they did that, what the process was like.
They had to infiltrate the Death Star and get in there. And
and it's just like, just seeing all this stuff like actually coming now to fruition. It's like I'm just more intrigued by from every image I'm seeing in this trailer to the music. It just felt Star Wars again to me, while feeling a little on it like its own thing too. Also, we got to mention, too, every Star Wars film up to this point, we've had 7 films now. Every single one has been composed by the great John Williams. This is actually the first Star Wars film that he's not going to compose. It actually has a composer, which I really love. I believe his name is Alexander Desplat. I might be saying that wrong. He composed the last 2 Harry Potter films. He's a phenomenal composer. And actually, Deathly Hallows Part 2, some of my favorite music in that film. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what someone else can do. And again,
he's going to be using some of the similar themes, obviously, from Star Wars, because you can't have a Star Wars movie without those themes.
Yeah, and also I was gonna say too, in the trailer, you kind of heard like the piano themes of
the main Star Wars themes. Yeah.
Exactly. So
they'll be in there still.
Again, I'm just saying, as a fan of his, I'm really looking forward to seeing his take on Star Wars, and again. It's going to be weird to see someone that's not John Williams doing Star Wars, but it's going to be interesting too, because again, like I said, he did an amazing job in Harry Potter and some of the other films he's done.
Yeah.
So
I also really like how this trailer really didn't show us that much. Like, it showed us the general, the story. This is what happens. They go to steal the Death Star plans, but they didn't really show anything else. Like, they show a little bit of them, like, putting that laser on the Death Star, but they didn't show Darth Vader or anything, and they didn't show, like, Mads Mikkelsen, who's one of the actors I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. And it's cool, too, because, I always say I don't want to see too much in the trailers, and this is just a teaser, too, so I have no issues with that. I just noticed it. No,
I completely agree with you, and I mean, we get the gist of the story already. They're here to steal. Rebels are infiltrating the Death Star, and they're going to steal the Death Star plan. So, I mean, it's pretty basic and simple cut. So, I mean, and we kind of already, if you've seen the other Star Wars films, you obviously know how this ends if you've seen A New Hope.
Yeah.
So, there's no, obviously, it's going to be interesting when you're in the film. Are the stakes going to feel high because we already know how this ends? But again, I completely agree with you. I love how there's very little to know. And one thing I really love that was making me feel like a little kid again watching this trailer. So much nostalgia. There's so many images and visuals that were made me feel so nostalgic. Like just seeing the rebel base on Yavin 4, seeing the rebel troops in the clothes they were wearing. Look, it was just I'm like, is this 1977? This is incredible. And then we got to see Mon Mothma. Now, if any of you know, she's actually the leader of the rebellion. She started the rebellion with Bail Organa and a few others. And she actually, in Return of the Jedi, she actually is the one who was setting up the strategy plan, if you remember the film, for the attack on Endor against the second Death Star. So, and also she had a deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. I believe the actress who's playing Mon Mothma in this, she was the actress who did the deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh,
So
wow.
there's that continuity there. Again, if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, please comment and let me know. But I believe it's the same actress. At least she looked just like her, and she also looked like the one from Return of the Jedi. I was like,
Yeah.
how did they get someone who looked just like Mon Mothma? It was incredible. It just made me go like remember Mon Mothma right
Yeah.
away. So again, just all the visual images in this, the Star Wars music, the shots of the AT-AT walkers just firing. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
that one shot where like they're running outside and they see
Oh,
all those ones up there.
such
It's
a
just a
money
great
shot.
shot. Yeah, it
Money
was
shot.
sick. So
But and one thing you got that you obviously mentioned who is completely not in this and again, it's a teaser trailer, so but still, I give Disney and Lucasfilm a lot of it's ballsy not putting. I mean, because I will say I had a few people and like you, me, and the people who are following this film. We know exactly when this is set. I had a couple people actually come up to me today and say, "Where's Finn? Where's Kylo or Ren? Where's Rey?" I'm like, "No, this is not." And again, we see the Death Star, so that's your obvious inclination that this is set before that. But someone actually mentioned to you another Death Star. So
yeah.
and again, it's a teaser trailer. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying again, you got to know that the marketing from all the people who have been talking to us and saying they didn't know what the timeline is. You know, Darth Vader is going to be an absolute main focus of the marketing, so people understand. Oh, it's Darth Vader. Okay, this has to be before what we're seeing now, or in terms of Force Awakens and the next film. So you know, I can't. Again, that's one of the more intriguing things I think about this movie. Not only the film itself, is the marketing in the film, because as we know, marketing can make or break. Obviously, it's Star Wars; everyone's going to see it.
Yeah.
But just in terms of marketing, like to the general going public, are you like again? And I think Darth Vader, when we get to more trailers, is going to be the best focal point for that.
I'm sure he's going to show up in one of the main trailers.
Well, yeah,
it's inevitable.
Yeah, and also we saw the. I almost forgot. We saw in one of the shots the royal guards for Emperor Palpatine in their red robes,
red with the swords.
And, we've seen them in so many others in the original Star Wars film, so we know for a fact those are Emperor Palpatine's royal guards. So I got to imagine Emperor Palpatine's going to be in the film, unless his guards show up without him, which would be weird. But no, I got to imagine Emperor Palpatine's going to be in. It's going to be cool if Ian McDiarmid can come back. I'd love to see that. I got to imagine James Earl Jones is returning as the voice of Darth Vader, not only because no one else can do him, but he's also currently the voice of Darth Vader in the animated show Star Wars Rebels. So if he's doing that, I got to imagine because he's still working with Lucasfilm there, he's got to be coming back. So it's only voice work, so it's not like, you know, he's got to be on
one of the most
set.
iconic characters ever. I'm sure he wants to do it.
One of, if not the most iconic villain ever, for sure. So, and also too, one more aspect I want to get before we finish this up. We've had 7 Star Wars films now. It's going to be interesting. In all 7 of them, there's Jedis in all 7 films. There's not going to be any Jedi. I mean, obviously there's going to be a Sith, you know, Darth Vader, and you know who else. But there's no Jedis really in this film, so it's going to be interesting to watch an actual Star Wars film with no Jedi present, and like to see how the galaxy is doing without. Obviously,
from the Rebels' perspective too.
Yeah, and again, we do know, if you've seen the other films, you know how it all eventually plays out. But just watching the film in the moment, it's going to be interesting to see how the galaxy and the Rebels are doing without any Jedi help. So I'm just looking so forward, not only the marketing of the film, not only like how amazing it looks, but it's Star Wars again. I can't and we just saw the Force Awakens a couple months ago, and it's just, we're so spoiled as Star Wars fans. I love it.
We're set for the next few years too.
Oh yeah,
one coming out every year. So.
Exactly, because after this, you got Episode 8 next year, and then after that, we got the spin-off Han Solo film, and then Episode 9, which is going to be directed by Colin Trevorrow. Episode 8 is Rian Johnson, who did Looper. And then we got the Han Solo spin-off film, which is going to be Phil Lord and Chris Miller. And then I'm not sure what as after that. I know an Obi-Wan Kenobi film, and after the success of Jungle Book, it's going to be Jon Favreau, in my opinion, directing that. So there's just so many Star Wars things coming out. So I can't wait. This trailer just made me get extra pumped and like angry. It's not December right now, so I can't wait to see this movie. It looks incredible. I'm sorry. One last thing we got to mention. We got to talk about the Felicity Jones, the main hero. I believe her name was Jyn Erso.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, that's it.
Really cool name. I like that. And everything she was doing in the trailer, like I love how they showed how much of a badass she is. Like she's got hand-to-hand combat. You saw her like with it looked like it wasn't Chewie's crossbow, but the fire blast she made. It just reminded me of Chewie's crossbow. And she is a badass. At least she appears to be, from the way, like, and also they were talking about how she tries to infiltrate the Imperials and how she's got a record. So it felt very grounded to me just in that perspective, and I can't wait to see what this character does. And I'm a big fan of Felicity Jones. Now, if you know me, I hated The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and she's like the only good thing in that. So I'm a big fan of Felicity Jones. So I can't wait to see what she does in this film. Also, we also saw Donnie Yen from Ip
Oh
Man.
yeah, Ip Man.
Oh God,
That's gonna be sweet. I hope we get some good fight scenes from him. That's gonna be epic.
Well, the little scene we did see was sick.
Was
The only
sick.
thing I was like that would have made me fall over my chair is if he had a lightsaber in his hand.
Oh
But
man,
yeah, but seeing the quick shot, like honestly, if you have not seen Ip Man or any of the 3 Ip Man movies, go check them out right now. Also, too, one little thing, just one last thing I want to say before I'm done. This film to me, Jace, it kind of did, like I said, it felt like a war movie of, like I said, Saving Private Ryan. It also felt a little to me like The Predator, the first one, 1987, which we are going to have a review up soon of that. It felt to me like The Predator in terms of you got a group of a bunch of soldiers.
Yeah,
they've
it's
got
like
to
misfits, and they band together.
And they've got to
get
band
a task
together,
done.
work together, and go on a crazy suicidal mission, basically. So just from, again, that war feeling, it just really amped me up because the movie is called Star Wars, and I feel like a lot of the other 7 films, I'm not saying they have not focused on the war part, but I just feel like this is really focusing on the war aspect.
Yeah, on the actual fighting. Like the other movies focus a lot on like tactics and stuff and plans here and there and space battles, but yeah, like you said, not exactly full-on warfare. So yeah, I think this movie might take a different angle and will be different than all the other Star Wars movies too. So
and also too, last thing, it's being directed by Gareth Edwards. He directed Godzilla. And also, he's going to be directing the second Godzilla. I really enjoyed that film, the previous Godzilla. I'm a big fan of his, so I'm sold on seeing this film just from Gareth Edwards.
Yeah, definitely getting excited, getting pumped for this movie coming out in December. So, all right, guys, well, that's going to do it for this video. Let us know what you thought about the trailer in the comments section, and if you like these videos, you can hit the subscribe button.
See you guys next time.